What's up, guys? Welcome to the Mechabuzz podcast, the podcast all about Mechabellum, what's going on in the world, and what you can do to get better. I don't know. There's a ton of stuff. There's so much gossip that's going on these days. But I am Great Torb, joined alongside my very good friend Vibe. Vibe, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, doing fantastic. Just got off a nice session of Mecha.
Oh yeah, obviously, like, I need to. Sometimes I feel like I haven't played enough during the week to like really know. And of course, like, I get my reps in. I like to get my reps in. And today, right before the podcast, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play a couple games with Vibu, just a couple, and then we'll do the pod right afterwards. And then all of a sudden, I look down, it's like 9:30 p.m. I'm like, oh crap, I overplayed with Vibu. Okay.
It's my everyday.
I know it's been a week-ish since the last time we potted, but any new changes, adjustments from, overall Mechabellum play, like anything that you've been cooking these days?
I keep going through a lot of the roster. Sometimes I revisit the highlights. Lately, it's been like probably 4 days of Fangs, and it's been nothing but losing MMR. I think I lost like 400 already. It's okay. It's hilarious,
dude. I try to also Fang gang it. It's hard, man. Like it just, they don't want to carry. They don't want to do anything.
You definitely have some games where like things just line up together and it starts going together beautifully, and your Fangs dominate so hard. It feels great. And you have an answer for like every single option that comes up. You're like, oh, I always get answers for this. I'm ready to go. And then other games where you're just like, nothing makes sense. And you feel like, oh my God, now I have to upgrade Fangs and they're doing horribly already. And you upgrade them and you're like, this is not going any better.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because like they're in this place. I don't know if this is how you feel about it, but to me, they're in this place where it's like, oh, well, they're supposed to deal with chaff. That's why I get the Fangs. And then they're trying to kill some, like, not as like a super big unit, but maybe like a Sledgy or something like that. Not like a Sabertooth, but a Sledgy. And it's like, oh, they should be able to deal with this. And it's like, they don't accomplish either of those. They're just like dying to crawlers.
Yeah. No, that's true. I couldn't have said it better myself. After like 4 days of using them, and this isn't the first time I've done like a Fang stint. This is probably like my 5th Fang quest I've gone on.
Oh my goodness.
This is like with my new tech though, all my new versions of how I like to play. Fangs, yeah, they feel awful until you get like, oh, it's like I have 2,000 resources invested into you, and now suddenly you guys are doing something.
Yeah.
But until then, they're so bad. They're awful.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I really hope that, I don't know, maybe they should just be this meme build. Because we've it's so funny, in our 2v2s we've been like 1800s 1900s with this Fang build, and then we'll lose to like 1100s too. It's just like, oh my God.
That's good. Well, it's like if the game just has a lot of spells, Fangs are like, okay, we're just dead again, just so you know, like we're not surviving anything because you don't have like barriers set up, you don't have like anti-fire. They're just gone.
It's so brutal because you need all that money to just invest like 4 techs into the Fangs, and Fang techs are surprisingly expensive too.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely not Void Eye level.
No, definitely
100
not.
Suppression shots, like 50 energy absorb. Need some stuff like that on Fang.
Well, dude, I hope something happens where I'm of the opinion that if you want to carry Crawler, you should have like a path, and maybe it's not like the best, but I definitely feel like Fangs are one of those things where I hope that there is some sort of not overpowered meme build, but more meme builds where we can do plays like that. I have currently just been trying to do like almost like a light carry where it's just like Mustangs, Crawlers, and Void Eyes. And you see me play this all the time. Almost like I'm not getting chaff clear. I'm not getting anything heavy that has a lot of HP. I'm just getting these 3 units and trying to make it work. It's been okay. It's gotten me up to like 2,000, but then it's just like a hard stop. Like everybody at that level is able to kind of deal with it because it takes a while to get online. But yeah, I think I've had some fun with Mechabellum and just the overall playstyle. I'm trying to find ways to really have fun in this game again, and it's been really nice, to be honest.
No, I think it. I when I just like try out other stuff too, I feel like I'm discovering new ways to make everything work, and you find little subtle ways you can make things work really fast. Especially if you get like a device that modifies things.
Yeah.
It's definitely cool, and I'm like you. I love massing strategies. I really enjoy just like overwhelming the board.
I'm still on that bandwagon of it would be cool to have those hero units. So it's like you can't build anymore, but you place a module on, let's say, a marksman, and all of a sudden you can just buy 3 of their techs. You know, it would be cool, right? Just having this hero unit where you can build your game around it. I don't know. I
love it too. Yeah.
I really love that stuff.
But Mobile Beacon getting real good with that.
Yeah, definitely. So, oh my god, that would be so sick. You like turn 3, you just have a 3 tech marksman that's just like drive-bying on the tower side or something.
Yeah, no, I would actually love that.
Add a little bit of what is that? Add a mobile, no, not mobile beacon, redeployment, and it's just like the game would open up so much, in my opinion. But anyway, before we actually get into all the theory crafting, because I do have a segment for that a little bit later, I want to remind you guys that this is the 1-year anniversary of Mechabellum. It's really exciting. Of course, Mechabellum has been around for a couple years now, maybe 2.5, but they were in early access or in beta. Officially released last, I want to say September, October time, and then since then it has it's really blossomed. So we're going to be celebrating. There is an event going on right now. Are you familiar? I know you talked about this a little bit on your pod, not your pod, on your stream, but it's the Red versus Blue. Are you familiar? Everything is going on.
I saw like I got pinged notifications on Discord. I did a quick check, and I was just on my phone, and I tried to like just click the button to see what happens. To, like join a team. I had to do a little bit of registering, like with like a picture. I was like, I can't do that on my phone right now. So I signed up for it later. I didn't really read all the details, but I'm aware that for the next like day and a half or something, all our ladder matches get accounted to like our team.
That's right.
We're Team Red, baby.
Yeah, you pick a side, and this is a cool thing that they did last iteration with the Steel versus Mobile Force. So you pick Steel or Mobile Force, and I think they've really, it was their first iteration last time. And they were able to really iron out a lot of the kinks, and now they're bringing this Blue versus Red Mag 1-year anniversary. It's really cool. It's really cool that Mag 1 is putting on events like this. Mag 1 is, man, they are the leaders right now in this industry. They've been doing such an incredible job over the past year. I know it is a community effort, but it's spearheaded by one guy. His name is Yes Winbig. He just so happens to be one of the best players in the world too. I think he got number 1 in the world like multiple times. Always sitting at the top. But in terms of like high level tournaments and community events, they're always putting on these very well produced, not just like from broadcast sense, but like the entire campaign is put on, and yeah, they're just like always cooking some stuff. So it's cool that they're doing this again. I am on the Reddit Mechabellum page, if you guys didn't know. You can check out more in the community tab on the top, but this is the Red versus Blue. More information is on the official channel on Discord. But that is not the only stuff that is going on. There is also a private ladder day 2 tomorrow, I believe. October 11th. Yes, it is tomorrow. Is that right? Yeah, October 11th. And there's going to be just the best players in the world that are going to be competing yet again. We're going to see if you guys are lost, if you guys don't know what to do, if you guys are thinking like one strategy is overpowered, guess what? Like some of the top guys have played whatever woes you. And you can find out for yourself exactly how to defeat it or how to beat it. And you can see like what the top players are cooking. So I really implore you guys to check that out. Again, it's the Mag 1 Year 1 Invitational. So you guys can't participate it. I'm sorry that the participate. It's it's an invitational, but definitely tune in because there's some great gameplay going on early in the morning for us in the Pacific time. So I know we've talked about it, Vibu. I want to put on some sort of event for us, the Vibu Invitational maybe, or the Vibu Open. But I also have a very special plan for you next week. So you have to. I need like a hard date and a hard time to basically plan for this this year one invitational. So just keep that in mind. I know this is the first time you're hearing about it.
That sounds good. I'm down. You always have good plans.
What's been the most like influential part of, I guess, the year one events thus far? I know we're just like cooking into it. Did you get a chance to do the 2v2 last week?
Like the two? No, I did not. Okay. I've also been pretty busy and out of touch a little bit lately, but I am playing in the red versus blue thing now, so
yeah,
representing blue with some losses, or red with some losses.
Dude, it's tough because it starts at 14 UTC.
Yeah,
that's like 7 a.m. Pacific.
Those are hard to make.
And normally both of us are up until 7, not waking up before 7.
Yeah, I know, that's exactly.
Makes it a little bit difficult for us to be able to do these events.
Playing in that Beastie event, I felt like I was on jet lag. I was like, bro, I'm so tired.
Yeah. I mean, you basically were on jet lag, to be very clear. You've had some crazy schedules in the past.
I have, yeah.
Where you'll be on like, I don't know, you'll go to bed at like 11 a.m., wake up and then start streaming. Or you'll even do the opposite, where it's like you wake up at 5 and you're like, oh, I'm on a great schedule right now. And then you're in bed by like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's Mechabellum the whole day, every single time.
The days when I wake up when the sun comes up, like the actual sunrise, those days feel very long. Normally my days is like I sit down in my chair and like it's already sundown. Like, where I don't normally see the sun, so
oh dear.
It's normally when I sleep.
Oh dear. Well, we gotta we'll try. Man, it is so hard for me to like be active during that time.
No, it is. I feel like nowadays I do actually wake up at a relatively decent time. I'm usually waking up like 9 to 10, but I don't actually sit at my computer until like noon, like 11 to noon. Usually doing a lot of stuff before I start.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way too. I like to start settling in. Guys, I know a lot of you guys are tuning in for multiple times. Really great to see a lot of you guys out in there. Pickleballer. I don't know if you know. No, not Pickleballer. Zadri. Zadri is the one that we played with him and Cheese, and he just came into chat to let us know that we were his only loss. This is great news.
Good.
I love to ruin a day. What's going on, Jackson? But anyway, yeah. So I just gotta say hi to people in chat, you know?
Yeah, I love seeing all the people here. I got a special love for Doxson. Doxson actually got to see not only like same time frame you and me together when we blossomed with hounds when it first came out. So also big hound lover himself, kindred spirit.
That's right. Doxson, one of the best players in the world.
He's very good. I think
top 100.
I think I can't remember. I genuinely might be wrong, but I think I beat him one time and I've lost to him probably like 7 times.
Yeah, I haven't played him in like the most recent buildings era, but nevertheless, I know he's still good. I haven't seen him on ladder in a while, but maybe we'll do a show match next week for a 1-year anniversary, and I'll have my Appa Doxson up against him.
Oh yeah,
the real Doxson.
To be honest, that's one of the reasons I like him so much is because of the dog picture. I was like, it makes me think of Appa.
We have the best mini ever. Vibe, I know. So I'm going to list out some of the things that I talked about last week. I know I had like a huge PowerPoint presentation for everybody. And I didn't really let you talk at the end or really during. Like you were going in and out, obviously. But, you know, I have very strong opinions about what's going on in Mechabellum. I will try to summarize my points very, very succinctly right now, which is that it used to be a balance of aggro versus standard, some aggro versus aggro, and standard versus standard. And now because of buildings, we're seeing a shift to just straight up standard versus standard for a lot of games. We're switching over to board states where they're much more compact because you kind of know where your opponent is going to go, right, from the beginning building layout. It's a system that really encourages spells to be overused because spells tearing through units is going to be much more efficient on your later rounds than anything else.
Yeah, I feel like that's bold for me.
And
that's a big one.
Yeah, that is why, to me, we're just mining for worse situations that are going in here. I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm saying that, hey, like compared to what it used to be, right now, I think it's declined a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've had historically very different opinions on, the game states. So I kind of want to get your opinion on how you felt about the overall game state and anything that you disagreed necessarily with the things that I said last time.
I think what you just said a second ago, like in the middle of what you were describing, when you say people are not spreading out as much, and it's really making spells more value, like that. I feel that so much in a lot of games. I feel like a lot of times, it seems to be like by far the most common factor in every game I'm playing, especially since I'm the one who's usually trying to be aggressive still through this, and it's definitely like there's a lot of options. There's a lot of ways the game is going, but I will say the game always feels more fun when spells are not existing if I'm playing aggressive. I do think if I play standard, it's usually like a backseat to fun for me. I don't know. Like I don't like standard as much as I like aggression nowadays. I'm addicted to paralyzing people. So it's definitely my goal is going for those towers. Playing standard it's fine. I definitely like sometimes having a strategy where you absorb somebody. There's definitely like incentivization to play that way in this game too, because sometimes some units do horrible in like a gut shot near the line, just in general. So I feel like I love to explore and I love to force random games to happen, and I definitely love to abuse whatever the RNG is throwing at me. So like if I get a mass produce card, I'm probably going to figure out a way to do that. You saw my Mass Fortress game earlier today.
That's awesome. There's like, I wish I was kidding. There was like 20 fortresses on the board.
There was so many, but I think games like that are so hilarious and they're so fun. And I get so happy inside when you can make crazy stuff like this happen in this game. But I do think the repetition of the choice of buying spell and the choice of playing standard is higher for more people on average. And I still think the way I keep describing it to people is I would say without buildings, I think Mechabellum for me was like a 9 out of 10. And the reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 is I just feel like there's always more we can keep exploring. There's a lot of I want 2v2 to also get some like major like attention. I want more people to be playing it. I want more people to feel the need to want to play it. But either way, it was like a 9 out of 10. After buildings, I feel like it dropped down to like a 7 out of 10 just because it makes more things that are not fun more often happening in the game.
I'm like completely on board with you with that. It definitely has slumped, and we've seen that with like the player base overall has kind of slumped. Now, this has happened before, and I get reminded of this all the time from people that are really into the game. Or I shouldn't say really into it. People that have been in Mechabellum for a very long time. This happened, as I said last week, with with unit drops and the uncalibrated nature of these unit drops. And I think that there is definitely a space where Bear Lake and the development team over at Game River can kind of, iterate up and make sure that everything feels good again, like it used to be. Of course, the big thing then is like, why didn't we just do that beforehand, right? And it's difficult. Bear Lake has like a very specific vision for this game, and he has these ideas and wants to see them through, for better or for worse. And I think this is one of the spots where we as a community are really feeling the adjustment. And it's not, I shouldn't say we as a community, because like it's happening for some people, not for others.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that without a doubt, like we are seeing like a splintering. A lot of my friends in the Mechabellum community are just not playing Mechabellum anymore. And that stinks. You know, I really enjoyed the community. I really enjoyed like the bonds that I've been making. And I definitely see like our Discord groups like diminishing quite a bit. And that's rough. That's tough for me.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel it too. I feel like there's definitely a lot more negative outspoken interaction that I'll interact with on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Just streaming it in general. A lot of people, whenever like the topic of buildings comes up, there are people that say things like, "Oh yeah, I stopped playing the game, and nor will I play it while buildings are in the game because it makes it way less fun." And to me, I hear that, and I think that's extreme. But I feel like there's definitely other people that feel that way, which is also why it is starting to slump more.
Totally.
Like the game is definitely running into like a player bleed here. We're losing a lot of people, but as a player who just grinds through it and tries to be
Of course,
an optimist about it, I still feel like I am finding lots of new ways constantly every day, and like basically coming up with crazy stuff and leveling it up constantly. And there are strategies that I feel like I could not do if buildings didn't exist as well.
of course,
So,
yes.
yeah,
It's going to open some doors and close others. It's a really, really weird place and we're still discovering. We all have our biases, etc. But yeah, it is a weird space. I want to pull you over real quick. One of the things that I have learned over the last couple of weeks is how overpowered the small EMP is. So the electromagnetic impact, I'm going to just like cut over to this real quick. So generally you'll pick this up a lot of times at like round 3 or round 4. And it's often like, especially before, it was like, I'm not going to pick it up because I need the extra 100, right? It costs 50, but to skip is 50. So it costs 100 in total.
yeah.
But this is what I'm seeing in particular at like rounds 8 and 9, because barrier, and we're playing standard generally, but even like the games trend more towards standard. This is like just the best barrier killer ever, and combined with other things, it just is able to put damage out very, 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 very quickly. And that alpha damage, the burst damage, allows things like, I can do this same example. Here, let me see if I can do this a little bit differently. Well, dang, I should have done it. There are instances where you have things like incendiary, or you have oil.
Yeah.
And it actually activates a lot of those, where you can spread the oil. You place the EMP onto that area, and very quickly you're able to kill the shield, and it unlocks that oil or that fire, whatever you're trying to put down. And I've noticed like this is one of the critical spells that is like make or break for the end stages, right? It just opens up so much in terms of being able to kill people. And that didn't exist before. That was something that, it's weird. Like just the aggro standard plays, like we didn't see this nearly as much. People theorized that it was good, but it just wasn't activated until I feel like now in this meta.
It's true. And like thinking about like rebalancing things too, like it might have to happen over time when you look at like how good spells can be and how good barrier crushing can be with something as cheap as 50 cost EMP. And then suddenly if those are down, yeah, like the entire clumped army that was the barriers that were supposed to be protecting it are now just down. And you could break it with so many things too. Like you could drop fire if you even had like one marksman shot, just like go into barrier plus an EMP, and it's just down already, which is fast enough for like oil to hit and fire to hit.
Yeah, I believe the EMP does like 40. Was it 40,000? Oh, I should.
It does 35.
35.
I know this trivia. It does 35k, and a barrier is 40.
40.
So if you can do just 5k damage, which means you could also, if a unit is under a barrier and you're dropping fire and oil, you could drop what's it called? The
A missile.
EMP and a missile, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Just missile device it, and you just blow up a barrier right there.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Like it would crush super hard.
Mhm.
Well, it does crush super hard.
Yeah.
So for those of you at home that are like looking for different tools to use, like definitely give that spell like a relook. It might not be super applicable like that turn, but you can always save stuff, right? Like you don't have to use it immediately. You know it's going to time out with your oil. Boom, you hit it with your oil, and all of a sudden now it's a lot better. So definitely like use that as a tool. Newborn Steak 11 asked, "What do you think about allowing players to place buildings instead of having them mirrored?" So interesting design question.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit here and there about our ideas with buildings, and I think the more customization you have as a player, the better. I think if you can dictate not only where you want to put them, but also what cannon you want it to be, or something like that, I would be totally down. Like I don't have to always run one of each. I could be like, I'm going to run 2 rapid fires. I'm going to run 2 big cannons here, and I'm going to have them both at the front with my push, and I'm going to push past it so they shoot as far as possible, or something like that. I'd be so much more down for like interactive buildings where we can decide what we want to do with them, because then it solves the problem of you always look at the preset and go, I can't build in like 70% of this area. So I have to build over there if I'm going to be aggressive.
Yeah, it's so brutal when things are in the way, obviously.
Yeah.
Not only on your side, but obviously on their side, where it's just, oh, that wall is there and there's a turret or a cannon behind. So it's like not impenetrable, but it's very hard and very challenging to be able to do meaningful damage over the next 3 turns at this specific area. Yeah. So I definitely...
I was gonna say one of my favorite, one of my least favorite things about it too is that it really does hiccup the ability to scale a unit really hard early game. Like you seeing your unit just get all that XP, killing a tower, utilizing the tower kill to like pick up more kills throughout the board or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like pushing into a building, you often find yourself whatever's pushing it is just dead. So you're waiting for like 3 rounds before you can actually kind of nullify them to actually start like picking up some XP if you're trying to push through it.
Yeah, it's really challenging for me. Again, I'm not trying to belabor too much on buildings. I know we talked about it very comprehensively. Is there any like other things that you feel that like I might not agree with? I know we've had like 30 million conversations about this in the past like month and a half, and I have very strong feelings about like I really don't like buildings for different assortments. Is there anything like over the course of the last month and a half that I've said that you feel like is not in line with how you feel about the game?
Not entirely. I feel like I think the difference of our opinions right now, especially, and this might not stay this way forever, but right now it's just kind of how I think it is. And you're definitely the more like statistical. You're the more like professional. The more I don't know. I feel like you definitely have more of a mindset of like how things would be in terms of efficiency, like getting EMP and having that like break a barrier, for instance, like we just talked about, like doing something it just makes spells really, really efficient. This concept of being efficient because we're stacked, all of that. Like I understand these things and I agree with them, but I also have like, I guess I have like just the desire to break it and make it and try to really like get past it and like go through a different way, like the fun aspect of it. So you just like, I take away like the logical thinking sometimes and I just shove through it, because at the end of the day, I do think this game is actually RNG. And I think if you just get really good choices, you can make a lot of things work that shouldn't work. Vice versa, you can get, if you make a somewhat bad choice and then you get bad RNG, you basically are dead in round 5. Like, it's just like,
that was also a terrible feeling, to be very, very clear.
Yeah, you're just dead.
Like I don't want to make it look like everything was perfect back in earlier patches, because we definitely had the Titan meta, and that was a big turnoff to a lot of people, right? You have corner factories going off, you have gutshot abyss plays, gutshot mountain plays. There was a lot of nonsense in that area, And spells are also very good. Like, it's not like spells have never not been good, and just the nature of them, they're always going to be good. But they're just like the categorical shifts and the categorical changes are what I'm talking about in general. There are some really, really nice changes that happened with this recent patch. Of course, we're always going to get this. That's why I don't want to make it like, oh, we're throwing the baby out with bathwater. The Titan adjustments were really, really strong. The recalibration of some units, right? Like, I don't think Vulcans are so oppressive. Were they super oppressive before? Maybe, maybe not. But I like how Void Eyes can be used these days because, whether the game's slowed down and the speed's not a huge issue, or even just like they've opened up with their techs, right? It's easier to get suppression shot. It's easier to get range. Like, these things have very critical, very real consequences immediately. And that's cool. That's what we like to see. So I don't want to make it seem like there isn't anything that was good. There was a ton of stuff, and probably the majority of things. I really like the adjustments. One of the big adjustments is, of course, the Fire Badger. We've had more time to use it. Vibu, I'm still having a really huge trouble in being able to effectively use Fire Badgers.
Same, honestly. Like, I think the unit is not worth its cost. I think that unit should actually... I would actually not be opposed to leaving the range and everything that unit has as is, and then maybe just dropping its HP down like half and just making it a 100 cost unit. I'm not even kidding. Just make it like... I feel like I don't like building that thing for 200 resources, and every time I do, I do not... I kind of regret it. The only times I like it is when there's just too much chaff for it to not be good.
Same. Like, it's only when there's such a huge cluster in a very specific area, and even then it's just like, it's okay. Like, it's covering very specific vectors that none of the other chaff does, right? Like this... I don't know how to explain it, but like, hounds won't do it. What's it called? Arclights definitely won't do it. There's just this cap in which too much high HP chaff floods in at too fast a rate when they get things like underground and they have like HP mods on their units and stuff like that. That's when I'll try to bring them out, but the base damage is so low, so they'll even get like stuck on chaff sometimes.
I know, it's not good. I definitely am not the biggest fan, and there's too many things that just nullify them if they get targeted. Like, they're just done.
I've definitely felt the adjustment also with the amount of time fires on ground, so that's been really brutal too.
I actually really like that fire is less on ground. I definitely like... I find myself a lot of times being the guy that rushes through it, so I'm definitely happy that there's just like less of like a swing of just like chaff. Like, just, it doesn't have to necessarily be chaff always. Some units can also die to fire, like a marksman or something like that. So I definitely like that the fire is less a lot. I feel like I've enjoyed that in my games.
I really like that change and adjustment. I've always been kind of like a fire hater in general. To say like you can go hounds and sprinkler to defend against it kind of misses the point, I think, a lot of the times, where it's like, okay, I just bought this spell and now you're going to commit an entire turn to defending very specific areas of the board from fire. It's like, I don't know if that's really applicable, especially on things like badgers. Badgers kind of need a longer fire time, so it's weird how it's just like buffs in certain areas and nerfs in other areas. Have you been able to use like counterfire at all and been successful with that?
No, I try. I've tried a few times, and I question, like, okay, let's try like density here. Let's maybe get some more, so like less badgers are taking more of the damage themselves, and it's more spread. Or trying to be like, instead of going for like counterfire first, maybe you do like HP mods. It could be fortified spec, it could be devices, it could be whatever, anything that like boosts your defense, and then try to get like level them up a little bit, then counterfire and like regen through it. And every way I'm trying it, I don't love it every time. I'm always like, I wish I just had range, because I don't even want to get shot on this unit, because if I get shot, when I have fire badger and it is a problem if it's not dealt with, a lot of times it's dealt with by
That's right.
something that can kill it. So you're just like, oh, it's dead.
Yeah, that's right. It's such a weird state for the badger. I think I don't quite know which text to go, because yeah. So how counterfire works is you get an extra 40 range. You do get additional attack.
80% attack as well.
Yeah, 80% attack, but it's 40 range. And a lot of times you would just rather have that 40 range.
Exactly. No, it's exactly right, because then you don't get hit at all. You don't have to get shot to get it. You just
Exactly,
get it. So,
yeah.
like your fangs stay in the front, or your crawlers have time to get past you, or whatever.
Yeah, the badger's in a really weird state, and I almost feel like over the course of like the past couple of weeks, you know, a lot of people were trying the scorching charge. We should actually get to that a little bit more now that we have more time with it. But we've been able to look at the scorching charge. I think scorching charge, for the most part, is pretty bad. Again, in standard, and against aggro, it's annoying as heck. You know, it forces, again, you normally get scorching charge and fire badgers, not necessarily from picking it, but actually from drops. And then you just drop it, scorching charge, and then all of a sudden there's fire on the ground that's annoying to deal with. That fire doesn't last as long though, and I should pull up the timing for that. But
I feel like I played an interesting game where I actually had a scorching charge pushing into somebody, and they went hackers with full heal when they hacked the unit. It would charge all the way back.
God, does it charge all the way back with
with full HP?
Oh my God, that's incredible.
I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Wow.
Literally what I thought.
I gotta try this. That's so brutal. That's so punishing, man.
Yeah, it's like 100% speed. It just turns around and it just slams into the other army.
That's hilarious.
I hated it. I was like, this sucks. I definitely don't like fire badgers at all. They're actually the biggest meme ever.
They are.
They're a bigger meme than fangs, I feel like sometimes.
I've tried so often when they first came out to make them work. I thought like, okay, they might be overpowered right now. And then once I just like, I don't know what it is. Like I played a couple more games. I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna, it feels like they're just gonna kill everything in front if it's chaff. Let me just put one chaff in front. And I'm like, why are you having trouble with crawlers, killing them? And then they just kill, you know, they run into crawlers and end up killing themselves and killing their friendly units all the time. Just like, gosh, brutal, man.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly on the lookout for like opportunities to use it, and the one I do like the most is just getting range, like the good old just range standard. Fire badger could be on the line and it could reach further out. It could be absorbing someone who's rushing your tower, and maybe I'm like upgrading, like leveling my tower, and the fire badger's behind it, something like that, and it just like absorbs the chaff defensively. I definitely love it in those one moment, like when it can absorb, but I never really think to myself, counter fire would be the sickest upgrade here.
Yeah.
Or charge. It's just range. I'm always just like, range is good enough, and maybe napalm to like leave fire on the ground.
I've heard people like talk about some ways they can use it. I've heard about counterfire with napalm, and basically what you're trying to do is what you're trying to do is kill Mustangs. That's all your badgers are for. Counterfire, napalm wrecks Mustangs really easily. Still, I have that's a very heavy investment to do something like that.
I think my only real thought of counterfire genuinely being good, if someone told me to write down my thoughts as to what is the best way to use counterfire, I would think on the flank, if there is not something that currently is like one-shotting you in your face and you can reach further into their chaff line, or like you're getting shot by something and you have the ability to like reach further from the flank into their back line overall. I don't know. I feel like it happened to me, and if you see someone's like a really big chaffer in the back, it's I feel like it could be good versus aggressive, but I don't know. I still wouldn't even love it, because then you upgrade it and it gets countered the next round and you hate it.
That's right. right? Like what happens when EMP drops on the arc lights or something like that, right? Or God forbid they go something like what is that one unit called? Can't even think of it. The
Scorpion Rhino.
Air Raiden, the Raiden,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they
Right.
go Raiden, all of a sudden you get one shot, and it's just like, well, what did I spend all that money for?
Yeah.
Whereas you're not thinking about that when arc lights are staying out of range, and hounds, there's just so many of them that you're okay with like losing ones here and there. One of the questions I did want to ask you is how have you been liking like I've seen this Mustang type of chaff clear style that's been maybe
With
coming
explosive?
up. Yeah, with HE. So for those of you guys that don't know, we covered this in one of the patches, but you can see HE got buffed by reducing the explosive ammo cost quite considerably. It only costs 50 base. So there's a lot of uses now where I'll just play it right now, where you have these Mustangs that are generally very terrible against crawlers. Don't get me wrong, they're not like perfect now, but I'll just do a before and after, and you'll kind of see like the adjustments. So in general, well, of course Mustangs are doing okay here. All right, I need to get better with my examples here, Vibo.
That's beautiful. I'm just looking at Mustang zoning right now. I'm like, God, I want explosive on my bar right now.
Well, that's not even with explosive.
I don't care. I didn't expect it to be. I want to see it.
All right, hold on. They're gonna cuck.
Yeah. Let's see this.
Okay, they're gonna get wrecked here now, surely, right?
They're definitely losing.
They're definitely losing.
This is like me when I used to do examples all the time as well. I'd be like but it would be like in a unit tester in StarCraft where I'd be trying to micro both sides, and I'd be like, normally people are gonna be micro the other army. It's fine. It would all just get fucked up. Yeah, that's that. You know what? Honestly, after seeing that, I don't even think I'm gonna make Mustangs anymore. I'm never touching that unit.
All right. Just watch now, okay? They are considerably better at dealing with crawlers. Right. So I've been using this style more. I already told you that I have this Mustang plus Void Eye build that I've been doing.
It's so nice.
And it just honestly it wrecks everything in the early mid game.
I got killed by someone doing that as well. I had a lot of respect for it. I was like, I think it was today. It might have been yesterday, but somebody did that exact same thing where they just went mass voids and just destroyed me with Void Mustang, and it was explosive stangs.
Generally, what I've been noticing is that Void Eyes are very good at dealing with sledgies, which sledgies not anymore, but they were kind of owning the ground for quite a long time. They're able to deal with any of the spider players. It deals okay against arc lights, but it really shines against those bigger units like the Sabertooths. Like crushes Sabertooths because of how slow the Sabertooths are in general, and then you have the suppression shot, which messes them up even more. You have critical, very cheap power spikes too. The first one is suppression shot, where it's so interesting. I've seen suppression shot now, and I thought it was just it's a range modifier for the most part. I didn't think that the range the percent suppression, the percent would be that big of a deal. It's gigantic, man.
It's amazing. You save it so many times too early game. Like you'll like turn off their range, they'll walk into you and just die before they hit you.
That's right. That's what happens so regularly that I've been seeing, where Vulcans, they're firing, and then all of a sudden they get hit by one Void Eye, and that Void Eye is almost like a support unit now. They're really weird. But that costs 100, and then you get the range on them, and you get this super powerful, very explosive type of unit that is able to fire at multiple places. So it doesn't do like, the biggest problem about marksmen is their overkill damage is so much. So just think about like one shot on a crawler, you're doing, 2,700 damage in overkill. That is awful, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to have these smaller units. Voiders are just taking over in that sense, and they've been really, really good at being able to deal with really everything. They hate Raidens, to be clear. Raidens
They
wreck
do.
them.
They do. I experienced that many times. That was my biggest nemesis when I was doing my Void Eye games all the time.
Yeah. They have this natural ability, Raidens, to just be able to kill whatever you don't want to die. I don't know what it is. Like, there will be a ton of units, and it's like, oh, I'm going to kill exactly this one marksman that's all the way in the back for some reason. It's not exactly that, but it's what it feels like for sure.
Yeah. I know. It's like lightning just arcs over to the side, and you're like, oh, cool, it's dead now. Yeah. I like Chain on Raiden, too. I don't know how much you've ever done Raidens yourself. Like, I love Chain on Raiden.
Chain is, I think, way better than the Forked.
So do I.
Because you want to go vertical a lot of times. All the units are being hidden vertically. And if you think about a lot of your AoE that you have, like arc lights, they're already doing things horizontally instead of vertically. So I think having that extra vector is way more important than having the spread out vector.
Yeah, same.
All right. So again, I'm still learning a lot of the nuances of this game and with the adjustments, but I'm definitely trying to actively test out a lot of what's going on. I do know that there is another Mechabellum Engine Room chat. Of course, Stony Mechabellum over on YouTube. He is the one that hosts these, and he has unprecedented access to a Mr. Bearlike. Of course, Bearlike is the game creator of Mechabellum. And again, this was posted 2 days ago. He's still collecting questions. Today is Friday, of course. Not of course, but today's Friday. And on Sunday, he'll be sitting down with Bearlike. There's a lot of huge people that go into these and are trying to, ask him questions. One of which is Math is Might. I thought we would go through a couple of these just to, kind of get your thoughts on
This is good.
some of these guys and how you're like, what your, I guess would be if you were Bear-like, and how you feel about things. Math is Might is really looking for the performance of Badgers. And it's interesting because Math is Might, he's one of the ones that taught me how to defeat the mass, what is that unit? Mass Wraith. He's one of the people that was like, hey, you should try Badgers. They're really good against all that nonsense. And sure enough, like, crushed. So I highly respect him. He's like top 100 in the world, top 50, something like that. Like, very, very good player. But basically, condensing it all down, he thinks that... Oh, wait. Sorry, I buried the lead on this. There were so many things that he said here. Dude, I'm wasting a lot of shots and the projectile speeds. Oh, it's the projectile speeds that I wanted to ask you about. His approach is the projectile speed is a huge problem with the Fire Badger. Is this something that like you've experienced before? I know we've talked about like the Badger overall and it's weak, but do you think the projectile speed of Fire needs to go higher for it to basically be a good unit?
I feel like that could help it. I do think that if it was able to connect damage to the target faster, it's obviously going to take less damage, and I don't know. I think it would help, but I feel like Fire Badger isn't going to. Okay, I don't know. I think it would definitely make it be able to also retarget on other things faster too. So if it kills something and it looks somewhere else, it would start killing that much faster. It would definitely clear the board a lot quicker. I definitely think that would make it a lot stronger of a unit. That's absolutely for sure, because it wouldn't have to like keep killing things in the same spot. It would connect to everything around it too, and it would just buy your DPS more time to not have to look at things that are bad. But I feel like my argument of what it currently is I feel like Napalm on a Fire Badger. I don't know. I feel like Napalm on a Fire Badger does almost the exact same thing. not exactly, but almost does the exact same thing. Just because if you don't reach it as fast, but when you do reach it, if you leave fire, and if that fire then does the job anyways, it's like almost the same thing.
I have
So,
sorry, I have noticed whenever I do badger plays, I'm expecting them to die very quickly, and then having the residual fire, somehow help my other units with XP. I don't know if you've played that style before. It's very similar to like the Hound, the hot dog strategy that people were doing back in the day, where it like funnels XP to basically all the other units.
Yeah.
Have you tried that?
I don't do it too much, no. Okay. I usually try to keep them alive, and I do think that if this was real and you could have a fire badger that did connect faster, you could argue like maybe things like ignite would be better on a fire badger, I guess, or scorching fire. Maybe there would be a build where you have like scorching fire, ignite, counter fire, range, or something like that, and it just like hits the target quickly, and then it melts it too if it's like a big target. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's tough. To me, a fire badger, its real strength is like the headbutts, right?
Yeah.
And this is probably why we don't see it nearly as much. Same thing with the Wraith, for example. The Wraith and the Fire Badger, they were so good at headbutts. Aggro versus aggro. Right on the line, getting up in your face. And it's weird, like the Badger went from being a line unit to maybe being a backline unit, midline unit. And I feel like it is missing a soul right now. Like I don't think it knows what it wants to be. I would love just like an HP buff, something like more stuff to give HP.
I think HP would be, if it's going to say 200 cost, I think it needs to have more HP too. I don't think it does a good job of like doing the things it's supposed to from HP. And or maybe like the other upgrades, sorry, like counterfire should also be an HP upgrade. Something.
Yeah. I totally think that. Almost like there's the immortal shield from back in StarCraft, where you ting it once and then all of a sudden it activates. It gains 2500 HP, and then there's like a 30-second cooldown to it, and then it'll pop back up. I think things like that would be really nice.
Yeah, it's like portable shield loop.
Yes, exactly so. I think it makes it much more interesting. I think it allows people to play different styles as well. Like I can look to make sure there's two major battles, and all of a sudden I'm supercharged with another portable shield, right? Like that's really, really strong. That's going to be very good. Yeah, I really do feel like the Badger needs to find its place. Mathis might also, he gets all the questions in, but it's funny, right? Like I'm going by a lot of
that was a good thought process there too. I never thought about the projectile speed.
Dude, he sees the game so differently. And when I had like huge Vulcan problems, he was just like, Vulcans are some of the worst units in the game. I don't know why you're worried about this at all. And I was like, I don't understand how you can think that, right? Like it was like, yeah. I was like, Mathis, mate, you are the one that's crazy, but I didn't actually say that, sorry. But that's what I was thinking the whole time. And it's cool to see his thought processes and see it backed by data. Like he definitely seems like someone that is rooted in just pure data, like the way he talks, the way he says things. He just, he's doing his own thing, and he's coming to different conclusions. It's really fascinating. But we've seen a very concerted effort for crawlers to fundamentally change, right? There was a proposal or there was something, and I think I linked this to you, but there was a huge push to try to get a nerf on crawlers, because crawlers fundamentally, some of the pros were saying, is the most important unit in the game. Everything is built around the strength of a crawler. So for example, you just can't do certain things, or you can do certain things if crawlers are too close. They have such high DPS. They destroy units like marksmen, and are able to account for so much overkill. And the success of a lot of these chaff clear units are not based on whether or not you can deal with fangs, if you can deal with crawlers efficiently, just because they advance up so fast, right?
Yeah.
So Mathis Might is asking, are there any plans to nerf Subterranean Blitz? He feels that Subterranean Blitz is extremely OP because the defender has nothing to do. Like they just come up and advance on you way too fast. Additionally, there's they get more HP. Of course, it's soft HP because it's only when they're underground. Okay, let's start with this. Have you felt like Subterranean Blitz has been overpowered, not only in your games but just like theorizing it?
I would not say it's overpowered. For the longest day, I sang the praises of Loose Remission, which has been recently nerfed. I now think it's awful now, but I really don't like it now.
Wow.
And I am trying Subterranean Blitz now more. I didn't run it before because I actually run like DPS crawlers. I don't run double defensives, so I'll have like replicate with like mechanical rage with impact drill, and then I'll have like a defensive. And I recently switched to Subterranean Blitz, and I do really like the fact that it increases your move speed, because that stacks with mech rage and also temp speed, and you can get crawlers in there so fast. But I never thought to myself, oh, this is overpowered. And I've only played against it, I would say, less than a handful of times out of every game I've ever played out of Mechabellum, to where I thought that it was difficult to deal with Subterranean Blitz crawlers that were attacking me.
You definitely need to play with it more, because there are some really strong things that you can do with it. I've done it with Wraiths before. All right, I just want you guys to take a look a little bit. Take a look a little bit on like what Mathis Might is really like talking about, why it's OP. Okay, so he says aggro can play infinite crawlers while defense is restricted to a small area made by small flank pulls. Right. So what he's basically saying is, because aggro is able to play on the line, you have more columns to send more chaff. This is one of the advantages of being aggro, right? Like you have more lines, whereas standard, you kind of have like two, maybe 2.5, right? At the tower and behind your tower. And then in front of your tower is only defending against like missiles for the most part. It doesn't matter. But here's like the big parts. So arc lights, he says, can't clear fast enough. I've definitely felt this before, especially if the arc lights are under leveled. Wraiths can't be played up top because they just get sniped immediately. Of course, we've all seen this. You get anti-air on like a marksman or a farseer. The Wraith goes down very quickly. Vulcans, he feels, were over nerfed. I definitely feel like Vulcans kind of stink right now. They just die to everything. Like I can go hounds right now and they just can't keep up. Badgers get hacked, and subterranean crawlers don't die to napalm either against badgers. And then this is the big one. HE spiders need 3 shots to clear them on equal levels. So they really oh sorry, I don't know if I'm following this. They're really getting crushed by everything. They're really crushing everything. Subterranean crawlers are crushing everything. As long as you're like leveling up your crawlers too, which obviously comes at different costs as well. I've felt this before in the past, and it has felt like really stupid, really overwhelming. I don't know though whether I would say it needs a nerf. Because my thing would be like, oh, okay, well, this is what you get for playing standard, right? This is what you get for playing standard versus aggro. You're going to have certain advantages, which is the defender's advantage. But then if you give them these columns of units, they're going to wreck you. They're going to, you don't want to play that at scale. And it's really hard for me to reconcile if there should be a nerf or a buff to subterranean. I shouldn't even say buff, but a nerf to Subterranean Blitz.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see that being a problem for sure for like a lot of different kinds of boards. Subterranean Blitz is definitely it's definitely solid. I feel like that upgrade since I last really looked at it has been buffed multiple times. and I haven't looked at it in like a very long time until recently.
Do you use it to go through fire a lot in your games?
I don't. I usually use it. The way I use it is, if I'm just gonna only use it and that's it, it'll be just for like my crawlers to be more supportive, especially against like Mustang boards or something like that.
I see.
But a lot of times I don't use it for anything other than move speed. I know the defensive play on it is really nice, but a lot of times I'm usually trying to like, instead of going for like a lot of crawlers from having a problem with DPS, I tend to lean into like the Rhino or something, or Steel Balls, because I have way better like tanking builds on those. But yeah, just in general, like a lot of times if I actually do Subterranean Blitz, it's actually usually as a follow-up to Mechanical Rage for speed, just simply for speed.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So just getting to the target area,
Yeah.
with a ton of stuff, like overwhelming almost.
Yeah, it like I'll have someone lead it. Usually, it's like a worm, but not usually even a worm, because unless I can guarantee it's gonna like be up out of ground. But it's usually like a rhino most of the time, something that can just like draw the kill factor, and then I actually just use it for so the crawlers can swarm in, and if there's like an opportunity to replicate, I'll totally get replicate as well. But I have been using it just for speed mostly, even though I know it's a really good defensive modifier.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna go into a test real quick. I'm almost positive they're going to live, but I want to check, especially with all the fire nerfs that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that if you just get Subterranean Blitz, here I'm just gonna get like fangs all the way on the bottom left. I'm pretty sure these units will stay alive. Skills. Gosh, I am not an expert at this. So
Neither am I. Every time I go into these like examples, I'm always like not even knowing how to use the UI.
all right, let's find out. Oh, I didn't get Subterranean Blitz. Okay, well, got to do that.
Hell
Gosh.
It's okay, dude. This is good.
Okay, so I'm gonna get speed as well. Before I
Okay.
think you needed speed, but maybe you don't anymore because of how bad fire is. Oh, now I have to replace fire. Oh my goodness. Switch sides. Let's just get a bunch of fire, you know?
Good ton.
All right, let's find out and see if this works. I want to say this works. And this is one of the main ways that you get through fire and still have your crawlers be useful. No, they don't. So what was it? How do you keep these alive? Was it just level 2? It might have been just level 2.
It could be level 2.
Let me see really quick. Sorry guys. Let me do this and switch sides and do it again. It's still level 1. Oh, switch sides and let's get speed again. Oh, I didn't get speed on that either. I think I took it off. Okay, let's find out. I definitely know in a lot of my games though that I'll get Subterranean Blitz and then all of a sudden like units, maybe it is just this, but because they almost get out of fire, what ends up happening is they're still being used as chaff. So they're still getting fired on, like there's still overkill that's happening. So that's probably what I'm cooking a lot of the times. I didn't know that they just straight up die. I thought they were okay, but apparently they just straight up die.
Maybe if you have like a health upgrade or a health mod, they actually could survive. Because a lot of times too, when you're getting Subterranean Blitz, you're probably getting it like round 6, round 5, round 4.
That's right. It's way later. It's gonna be like your round 8s. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see one more time, and then we'll call it for Subterranean Blitz, and then we'll get back to Mathis Might stuff. You know, I like the tangent here. Oh yeah, great thought, Neon. So Neon Fine Line said Photon. Yeah, Photon is gonna definitely make it so that they're alive through this thing. So these are level 2 crawlers. Obviously, looks like they're always gonna stay alive here, and they're gonna get in here and just kill everything. Like level 1 fangs can't do anything. So yeah, Vibu, I definitely this combined with there's that one upgrade for crawlers where you can basically free upgrade them every single time.
Yeah, subsidized crawler.
Yeah, they can get in there and really wreck. very, very nicely.
I know. I usually every time I see that, I always think to myself, "Oh God, just gonna get one rhino. He's gonna tank. All these guys are leveling," and that's when I usually turn it on. I'm like, "We're getting damage," and then once I get speed under control, we're getting speed. 'Cause I gotta like start the rhino, make sure he's good first, and then I can follow him with really fast crawlers. That's actually what I usually do when I usually pull a trigger on that.
Yeah, dude. Like that. It's a really cool upgrade. I think that there are a lot of really cool, what are they called, like skills, spells, whatever the adjustments
Yeah.
that open up a lot of different trees that doesn't ordinarily exist. I do wish like subsidized stuff would be a little bit better. Right now, like subsidized Mustangs, subsidized steel balls, all that stuff kind of stinks. Marksman stinks because it costs 100. I wish those would go down in price. Actually, they cost 150, to be very clear. So
Yeah.
thinking like, oh no, not all of them. Sorry, the subsidized steel balls don't cost.
That's 50.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
50.
Yeah.
Well, 100 total, right?
Because you don't skip and you're like still taking it. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish that was worked a little bit, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, et cetera, et cetera. All right, going. Well, for Bear, like, would you have any like huge questions that you would want to ask him that like you think that are burning questions for the Vibe and the Vibu family that you want like a specific playstyle maybe or anything like that?
I think mine would be: are we ever going to get terrain adjustments to the game for like just in general? Like it could be 1v1, 2v2, whatever. Like any form of the game. Is there ever like plans to have more than just units can move towards each other? Is there ever going to be like a thing where units can't run in certain spots? Which could in turn make like a really good outpost for a range unit or something like that. I feel like that could be interesting. It's not something that's like a pressing need of mine, but I think that could definitely be a different way to explore the game. Balance wise, I don't really know. I feel like when are we going to make Elite Marksman an exclusive skill you can put on every unit?
You know, I would love that.
I want to have Elite Marksman on fangs. I want to have Elite Marksman on everything.
I honestly would love that. I would love. I know there was a proposal of saying things like for every level up you get, you reduce the like attack interval of whatever unit is by like 10% or something. Actually, Agri-Nakoma. Do you know that? I can never pronounce his name, but Agri was one of the people that was really proposing for that, to like put extra emphasis on getting levels on your units.
Yeah.
Because after level 2, like, don't get me wrong, it still feels good to level 3 and level 4, but unless you have Elite Marksman, you're generally stopping around a level 2, a level 3 because of the diminishing return, and you're still paying the same amount. So the level 1 to level 2 spike is just like too important to pass up, but then after that, it's just diminishing return. So it's difficult, man. I do wish there were more incentives for like leveling up your units than Elite Marksman.
What if? Okay, here's another question. What if, like in the future, when the game, because the game already has a lot of stuff coded into it, it already has a lot of ideas. What if there was like, this would be a way to incentivize somebody to do a scale type build with lower tier units. Like the lower the cost, the better. What if there were like, you'd have like a device where it's like you get this one device like it normally is before, or what if you could buy a combo of like 2 small devices that can only equip to like 100 cost unit, and what if like you had a combination of like a range device and a free level device or something like that, like an enhancement module that could go on like cheap ass units, but it's also a cheaper enhancement module, but it can't be like it's almost like a small amp core, but it's like exclusive to like 200 and below.
Yeah, dude, you know I would love stuff like that. I would even love it where you can make Exodia modules. So you get like, you know, you get the left side of the module and the right side of the module. Yeah, that would be really cool, right?
Yeah, it gives you like a buff on your board or something.
Like, how cool would it be if if you had a module on your saber-tooths, and it only affected the left side of the tank. So the left side has like a missile, and the right side it can only fire in that direction. And now all of a sudden you have to mobile beacon like intelligently, right? So it's just like drive-bying on the right side.
Yeah.
Like that would be very cool. I love that idea. I
have another idea too. Like this is like the ARPG mindset where it's like you play a game like fucking Path of Exile, Diablo, whatever, something like that. What if there was like an upgrade that you put on a unit, and what if there were breakpoints in the game where once you reach a threshold of a number, could be level 3, the upgrade of what you have becomes more potent, and it becomes even stronger. Like it's like, oh, there's incentive now to get level 3, or there's incentive now to get level 6. Oh, there's incentive to get level 9, and it could like increase the AoE radius of something. It could increase the range of something. It could increase the fire rate of something.
Oh man, I love that so much.
Yeah, like you could actually like feel like it's not just like saying, oh, I want to stop at level 2 because everything here breakpoint wise makes no sense to go beyond that.
Yeah, almost.
Instead, you're like, I have new breakpoints that I keep hitting when I hit these new thresholds that my upgrades become more explosive.
Yeah, you're like unlocking so many things for me that I'm just thinking, like, what if an arc like at level 5 gets an equipment module that it's like, oh, it'll place fire on the ground of every single place that it attacks, you know, like
exactly like some crazy ass mod.
It doesn't have to be the parasitic one. I don't know if you remember the parasitic
I do remember that. It's spawn crawlers. Everybody put it on Mustangs. And they would always split their Mustangs up. It would like go left and right, and it would just go everywhere.
It was wild. It was so much fun, but it was
remember that shit, yeah.
Yeah, and then you would like some people would put it on, sorry, I'm tangenting, but some people would put it on what are those units? Marksman, and then they would snipe bigger units, and when you snipe bigger units, there's like 10 that fall out of them. It's just like, god damn.
Yeah.
This is crushing me.
I remember.
I would see, these are things, Vibu, that I would love that doesn't change the game too hard, in my opinion. Of course, it'll change the meta and it'll change like different power points.
Yeah.
Right now, how I feel the game is it revolves around the same units no matter what. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong about that? Like, do you feel that way?
I choose not to.
I know you choose not to.
I choose not to. I want to believe. This is my thought process. Inconclusive evidence. Whenever I lose,
yeah. No, you're right.
I'm like, you know what? Just like 50 more fucking examples of my arc lights, and I bet I could figure this out.
I think the real beauty of this game is when you have cards that shape and reshape how your boards would be in any other game. And we've fallen away from that a little bit too much. Or that's just how I feel. I like the cards like Improved Wasp, where it's like, oh, this came up.
So do I.
And I'm an aerial spec. And now I can threaten. Oh, I've just done Improved Boats. Now all of a sudden they're like really strong carries, and I can do something with this. Like the HE matters because I'm not dying so hard in like when the boat first drops. These are things where I really like the incorporation of these cards, and I feel like we've moved away from it with how powerful some units are.
I agree. I do feel like sometimes I can run in, like when I run into, it doesn't happen every day, but there are definitely some days when I run into something and it's just, I run into a lot of it just happening over and over and over. It does feel like there's kind of just like, why would I do this when I already have something that's insanely like effective and it's just gonna work again? Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to be tuning in very closely on Sunday, listening to see how Bear like, kind of wants to approach everything in the future. I'm really hoping for the best. I've definitely noticed, has there been like an MMR decay also? I feel like everybody that was like 2400, 2200 is like 1900 right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think the reason why I think so is because at the start of this patch, this is before I did all my Fang like just, I definitely have done different things, but I saw MMR wise like 2K plus, you're like in the top like 100 already. You're the top like 80, and that's not how that was before. You were like 2100 was like top 200 before.
Ah, I see. Maybe it's just the start of the season. Although the season's been out for a couple weeks now, right?
Hmm.
Um,
It does tend to grow throughout the season,
Yeah,
slowly over
totally.
time. But I do think that like basically like negative 300 to everybody or
Oh,
something.
okay. Well, that's definitely what it feels like. Anyway, I really hope that there are some big drastic changes that get done. That's my personal opinion. Of course, everybody has their own opinions. Regardless, though, we're going to be putting on some events. I'm cooking a lot of stuff for you, Vibu, and for the community to make sure that everything gets set together. Once I have everything like laid out, I'm going to show you everything. So don't worry, you won't be left in the dark completely. But the Vibu Invitational is going to come. It has to come, Vibu. We're gonna make it happen,
That sounds good. And thank you for all the stuff you do, man, for real.
dude. Yeah, I love this stuff. I love the productions, and maybe not necessarily always like being a voice, because I feel like I don't know. It's not that I don't feel like I have good opinions or anything like that. It's just it's hard to keep up with the ever-changing world, and my life. It's a little bit crazy.
I do, dude.
So it's like,
Half the time people are asking me stuff, and I'm like, what? I totally understand.
I have no clue. Like, I know politics is being shoved in everybody's faces, but there's sometimes people say stuff, and I'm like, I don't know anything about that because I'm too busy doing other stuff. I literally can't commit to that.
No, I totally understand.
But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting Sunday. I'm gonna make sure I'm tuning in. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Mechabuzz. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will catch you next week. We'll try to have like a more predetermined time. Again, once I finalize things with Vibu and some other persons, I'll let you know. But until next time, have a good one. Peace.
Thanks for watching, guys.